And we're live, streaming to you from the footsteps of New York City. We are Music Matters with Jason Tramm, and thank you so much for joining us for our unique podcast community, where we explore the challenges and triumphs of the performing arts world as seen through the eyes of distinguished artists. Please subscribe to us on YouTube and smash that bell icon for the most up-to-date information on our upcoming guests and topics. And we have a wonderful array of guests and topics coming up in the next months in the summer season. We've got renowned opera singers, we've got crossover pops artists, we've got rap artists, we've got everything you could imagine, indie singer-songwriters. We take a look at great artists of a multiplicity of genres and take you behind the curtain to see the artist behind the music, which is so exciting. To see our library of 170 past interviews, check out our website at www.jasontram.net. www.jasontram.net. Our guest today is a wonderful singer, a soprano, initially an opera singer with a booming pops career as well. The New York Times have praised her work, and she was awarded first prize at the New York District of the Metropolitan National Opera Council, and she was a finalist and prize winner in many competitions in the classical music world. Since then, she's made a wonderful career as a crossover artist, singing opera and pops and everything in between. We're so delighted to welcome her today. Welcome, Julia Lima.
Hi, very happy to be aboard. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Now, I knew you in New York City, but you've since then left and joined the left coast. How are things in LA today?
I really love it in here. It's beautiful weather. It's like constantly summer, constantly sunny weather, beautiful one. A little hot this week, but it's really amazing actually, yeah.
Now, you were born in Russia. Tell us about, did you always know you wanted to be an artist?
I'm not sure actually, but yeah, when I was, I think, very little girl, I was giving a concert to my mom with a brush.
A great place to start.
Yes, it's a great place to start. So it was a hairbrush as my microphone,
Aw.
and I was giving a concert, like, just a cappella, of course, and I could sing like nonstop, like 3-4 hours. So
So what did you sing as a young kid? What was the music you were hearing? What was surrounding you at that time?
Actually, at that time, because I was born in a village in Siberia, there was only pop music available, basically, so there was not much diversity. And since I was like age 15, 16, then we moved to a little bit bigger town, but still town, not a city. But there was a music school where I started to learn already something about classical music, about singing professionally, choir, etc., etc. So then I discovered the classical music world. But before, only pop music, just something that you can listen to on TV. And that was my choice to perform and to learn.
So going from Siberia to LA, boy, the weather is quite different, huh?
Just quiet, yeah, it's completely different. And yeah, I feel like, yeah, that's something that I was missing. I was struggling a lot, honestly, especially as a singer. Even my life in New York, I would say, wasn't easy. Like for the singer, there's such a weather, very, very cold winter. It affects singers. I was sick maybe a couple of times or 3 times during the, I don't know, winter time. So, it happens. So for me, yeah, living in a warm place like California now is just an amazing solution. I feel healthy and yeah.
When did you know you wanted to pursue music as a career? When in your studies? Was it in the conservatory, or when did you find that passion for saying the music's where I love to sing, but I want to make this my life?
It's actually happened to me without even me making decision. It was something like,
It chose you.
it was kind of higher guidance of my life. And I think at age 15, when I was like in the last year of a high school in like in Russian grade. So there was a local talent competition, and I won a very, very big, it was a grand prize, and I won very big cash prize. So I just decided like, yeah, that's the way. So the guests from company, they paid for my scholarship in the most prestigious and famous and expensive musical college in Moscow, Russia. So, from the very village, I moved to like the very center.
The big city, the center of the musical world. And Russia's got such a history of classical music and a tradition. I work with so many Russian artists, and man, the passion and the fire, I've always loved my Russian colleagues.
Yeah. We have great, history of music and ballet school, definitely too. Yeah. So it was very simple for me actually to move from Siberia to the very center of the music world. Yeah. That's how I started my professional career. And even more funny, like every time I enter any competition, I always want some money. So it's just like, it was happening to me like, okay, so, I was born in very poor family, so there was kind of easy, decision, easy way for me. So that's the way I can make money. That's the way people respect me, appreciate me. So I was like, yeah, fine. Here we go.
Music and sports have that ability to find that talent and to nurture that talent and then transport you somewhere else. That's really it's been that way forever, I guess.
Yes. Sport is also a very big part of my life. And yeah, I was trained as a professional gymnast. Uh,
Oh, okay.
I invested 11 years of my childhood into that. And I was even professional trainer in a master level sport of gymnastics. So I'm really into sports. Still, sport is, the very, very big part of my life. I like challenge myself with hiking. I know, uh, working out. Like I even entered a bodybuilding competition a couple of years ago. So I really
Amazing.
continued challenging myself because it's part of my, I don't know, nature. It's so organic for me.
Onward and upwards, I always say, and that's I think that's going to be your motto. Is you like to find these challenges, and how does the sport help your singing?
Very, very much. Actually, it balance, because some of us, um, sometimes, it's like we're taking either too much left or too much right side, right? So I think like sport keeps me kind of in a very balance and this perfect middle golden way, golden path between my artistic life and how much time I spend sitting, like, doing music, playing piano, learning new stuff, new vocal pieces, etc., or practice my voice, and how much I actively involve my body into the process. So it's just helps me to keep the healthy balance, organic balance within physical, emotional, kind of work I'm doing every day on myself. So it's great actually. And it helps because sometimes if I don't feel I'm in a great shape as a singer, I just go to the gym, warm up a little bit, do a few exercise. So it's just blood circulation, and our vocal cords, our apparatus is the same part of the body. It's also muscles. If you don't think too much, it's just two muscles. So if your entire body is in good shape, your muscles are not tired, not exhausted, so your voice is supposed to sound very well in this case. So it helps me to warm up my entire body and bring it to the vocal practice.
Thanks for sharing. That's such an important thing is self-care and being healthy, and it's really important to maintaining a career is to find a way to be to be comfortable and to be always at your best, and that's so critical to that self-care aspect.
It is, yeah. Thank you for seeing that in me.
So tell us about going from Moscow Conservatory. You're at the top conservatory. You're winning competitions. What brings you to New York City?
Ooh, there's also interesting story. It was related to my professional life and my private life, my personal life. So I just felt that I entered so many competition already there and TV shows as well, and I had pretty successful career over there. I would my like the very highlight. I represented Russia at the Eurovision competition. I don't know, Americans probably
Wow.
don't know much about it, but all
Well,
the
do
Europe.
tell us what's it like being on television representing your country. I mean, what an incredible opportunity.
So just to tell you, it's like it was in Belgrade arena, and it was 100,000 people. So that's that level. Just
No pressure.
yeah, yeah, there was a lot of responsibility, and Russia took the first place at that time. So it was really, really great for the whole
Wow.
history of Eurovision competition. It was very first time Russia took the first place, and I was on the stage. And it was a very big bump to my career, and it was great. But right after that, actually, it was in 2008. Right after that, I decided to move to New York City because I just felt that it's like my limit over there. I touched the kind of the limit with my head. You know what I mean? The ceiling was too low, kind of. I didn't feel like is it possible to um, find new ways to expand my career, expand myself as a singer, as a performer in Russia. It's a lot of limitation there. There is no critics from my side right now. Just like telling you what I was feeling at that time. and I was feeling
Got
a
to
lot.
follow your heart as an artist, right? That's such an important part of being a creative artist, following your heart, and you have to trust the path that you're following and kind of follow that. And there's always that kind of yellow brick road, like where you should be. It kind of calls out to you.
True, true. Yeah. So I was just feeling that, yeah, there is a lot more opportunities. Also, there was a little challenge. So, for example, if I participate in Russian competitions, I would always take the first prize. If I go to international competition, I would be maybe a finalist. That's it. And I was like, huh. So I'm not that good actually. So I mean, I'm good, but it's still great. But I think that I have a lot to learn, And I moved to New York because I heard New York City is the capital of operatic singing at that time, and maybe still, right? So great coaches from all over the world, like from Italy, from Germany, and from New York itself. That great coaches are over there, and I was working with amazing people. I learned so much. I really, you mentioned it, that I kind of modest now. I mean, definitely I'm very much modest now, because when I got to New York, I realized that there are many, many people a lot more trained than I am. And I'm like, okay, that's a lot of space to. So, but amazing stuff was about that limit that I had in Russia. I felt it. So in New York, I felt like, oh my God, there's so much space to learn. It's space to move forward, discover new sides of myself artistically as a singer, and work with new casting directors, new conductors, just music directors. It was a great, great opportunity. So I started my new career, I would say, new level career in New York.
I was delighted to work with you in New York, and we did a bohème together, I believe, and it was so exciting to watch you on the stage. You're such a natural actress on the stage. There was no barriers between your acting and your singing. It was really, every singer is different, but when you see someone with such a fire and a crackle and a spark, it was really a pleasure to work with you on that.
Same here, same here. I was really amazed of the cast, entire cast, and how it was represented, and a beautiful rehearsal we have. That was great. Pleasure.
So now you're in the middle of an opera career. You're working. You're winning competitions. You're placing. You're fine. You're doing all this great work. Did you always do pops music? Was that just part of your DNA since you grew up with it, or was it something that came to your career a little later on?
Well, in Russia, I was part of many, many TV shows. And usually, even though I represent myself as a classically trained singer, they would like to put me in a frame of kind of crossover performer, what I mean, for the TV shows.
I think the Europeans cross over much more than the American opera singers. I think it's just part of European society that they include the opera more in the arts. I think that's great. Good singing is good singing, right? I mean, I think that our European colleagues and Russian colleagues recognize that more.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. So it's always been part of my life. Yeah, I never mind to perform like this. And I would say honestly that we know that opera theater, opera world can only open doors to, like, let's say biggest theater is 4,000 seats, right? I mean, that's true because
That's the Met. Yep, over 4,000 seats.
yes, kind of, that's the biggest theaters in the world, and it's fantastic. But for the crossover and pop music, you can handle 10,000 seats. You can handle enormous one. It could be stadium, right? So it's different level in terms of quantity of people. Oh, sorry, quality of people you can bring as your audience. So it's like bigger stage basically, right? So bigger audience, because classical music itself in its original way attracted, it's kind of, I don't know, not everyone can observe it the way it is, right? Only probably kind of people with specific taste, or like educated this way, like able to observe it. Like just
Can be
regular.
very expensive. Classical music performances live can be very expensive. Yeah, that's really a challenge we face. I mean, whenever I conduct in, like, let's say I conduct in Romania or Bulgaria, it's publicly funded. They go for like a quarter or $1 in American cash, and you go to the Metropolitan Opera. The tickets can be $100. The $25 puts you in the skybox. I mean, you can barely see the artist. You may as well.
Right.
So I mean, that's a legitimate concern in America. It's really expensive to go to see classical music.
And actually in every country pretty much the same. You're right, it's important moment. Yeah, definitely classical music is way more expensive, because it's true. For example, if you go even to the celebrity performance, pop singer or crossover singer, like 40, 60, $80 is kind of, you'll get the great seats, because they sell more tickets, definitely, so the quantity covers quality, so they can raise. I mean, they lower the price a little bit, so it's kind of more affordable. So maybe that's you're right. It's interesting you capture this. Yeah, it's probably the reason as well that crossover and pop music is more available. It's just more available.
We've seen big stars crossing over. That's been a thing. I'm a college professor, so I'm always thinking of long term. We've always had opera crossover. Go back to Caruso. I'm the music director at Ocean Grove, and Caruso was touring his first album, and it was a smash hit, and he made a lot of money. But he traveled around the country promoting it, just like a pop singer would today. And then we have the Three Tenors, of course, and then we have so there's always been this kind of opera crossover, and it's like a magical formula. You get the high art mixed with and kind of like a broad appeal to an audience. I think it's really special and very helpful.
Very helpful, absolutely. Yes, whenever works to attract audience to this, topics, it's amazing. It works. I use them all, honestly.
You certainly do. I was listening to a few of your tracks, and I listened to your Prince Igor. It was Fly Away. Unbelievable. You got hard rock elements in there, but sung beautifully. Beautiful bel canto line on top of that with a contemporary modern spin. I mean, it's hard not to like that. It's a winning formula.
Well, actually, it takes a lot of, I don't know, controversive kind of opinions, because for some classically trained, adapted people, that's too much, because my appearance in there is not a classical. Very much my look, my costume designer was very creative. And yeah. But at the same time, yes, it's still me. It's still very well, and award-winning soprano singing that piece. So it was kind of it's not for everyone, but it's what I was feeling to express. That's the way I wanted to express myself, and I like. Thank you so much for liking that. Yeah, it was very experimental. So now my recent works are a little bit more modest, I would say. I just prefer. Also, I'm getting older. I feel like. I want to show up less skin and more my talent, more intentions. But yeah, there was the moment when I felt like, why not? There was also kind of part of getting my freedom in America, after being.
So tell us about becoming a pops artist, crossing over in America. How did you kind of find that blend? And how did you wind up in LA? What brought you out there?
Yeah, actually, it was a few moments that I started, even while I was in Las Vegas. I started working on my new track with a producer from Los Angeles. And I mean, it was possible to work like this, with distance work. But since my contract in Las Vegas was over and it was time to move.
Now, what were you doing in Las Vegas?
I was part of the show, The Mob Story.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was also a mix of kind of crossover pop and a little bit operatic singing. So it was here and there. And also it's magic show and dance show, definitely the biggest part.
A real a showstopper, Las Vegas Strip. I love those shows. They're wonderful to check out. They're highest entertainment value.
Yeah, that's great entertainment value there. Definitely, yes. Everyone actually wants to end up in Las Vegas. I mean, yeah, that's true. But yeah, since my career over there was over so far, I didn't get new contract, and Cirque du Soleil didn't give me any opportunities at that time. So I decided to move to LA. And yeah, here I am. I work with a couple of amazing producers here. Some works are still in progress, and also since the pandemic, it's kind of postponed, kind of recorded one track, but entire EP or entire album is not, ready yet. So it's kind of, it's post, I would just say. But yeah, I keep working myself, and I'd like to mention the thing that I started traveling during pandemic. I traveled more than ever, probably.
Really? You're the only one I know.
Yeah. I went to spiritual places. I just decided to give myself a deeper dive into myself, spiritual self. And I went to Tulum. I spent a few months over there. I mean, many months over there. And it's very, very special place. Basically, it's it's the only place in entire Mexico, I would say, where you can meet so many musicians, spiritually oriented musicians. You can play medicine music, meditations, kind of this all kind of mix. It's a very special place. And that experience kind of gave me a really great opportunity to meet beautiful DJs, kind of also very specifically oriented DJs, not just like DJ that play at nightclub. They do not play at nightclubs. They play only at that kind of events. There is no alcohol, nothing like this, would be sold. So I really appreciate it because I'm on the healthy side of life, living and healthy living. And I met beautiful musician. I met Andrei Matorin, if you ever heard. He's from New York, actually. Yeah, so he's a violinist and a DJ music producer. So he creates this kind of medicine music stuff. Beautiful.
Wow.
So we work on our AP right now. It's in process as well. So yeah, I met beautiful, beautiful people.
So you took the COVID hits, and we're all in this place where live music is basically stopped, right? Live performances are halted for almost a year, right? I mean, real significant period of time. So you focused on your spiritual side.
Correct.
How does that recharge your battery? I mean, we all need to recharge. It was such an exhausting time. I had debuts canceled, of course, all my performances. We spend years putting these things together. Everything stops. How do I know we all dealt with the? I'm fascinated by this because I've asked this of all the artists on the show. I think there was a lot of grief. I mean, there's just grief that goes with this because we put our hearts and our souls as artists into our work. And I'm always asking, how do people find a way to be creative again? So tell us about your journey spiritually.
Yeah, that was, I think, beautiful opportunity for me to, dive very, very deeply into myself, kind of subconsciousness level. So I've healed many, many traumas of mine over there. This very, very intense way. How it was happening, I was using a lot of medicines, like Mexican medicines, Peruvian medicines. So that's a very intense way to do that. And I was living in jungles in Peru for that. That was probably the most terrifying and the most, but the most transformative experience.
Well, tell us about that. I mean, I've watched a lot of documentaries on like ayahuasca and about traditional medicines. Did you try any of that?
Yes,
what was that like?
Yeah, I was drinking this medicine all the time, every second day. And I was making it myself. So yeah, basically I'm kind of halfway to serve it myself. So in the future, but it's like, I didn't make this decision yet, and I don't think it's up to me. I'm waiting that the nature, the universe will make this decision for me, if it's the sign, if it's the time. But for right now, I'm just really, really deeply, deeply grateful and appreciate the opportunity to be in the jungle in such a hard time. There was such a hard time to get to Peru, and even harder time to get out of Peru afterwards.
Especially during COVID, right? I mean, with all the crazy restrictions. And
I was stuck in there. That was a really tough time for me. Yeah, so, and jungle itself was an amazing experience, very challenging. And
tell us about what's like. I've never been to Peru, and I've only seen pictures, but I'm a documentary fanatic, so I watch documentaries about everything. So tell us about the jungles of Peru. What did being there teach you about yourself?
About myself, well, I experienced medicine for last 4 years already, so I got there kind of prepared with some experience. But there is the place, so it's like the Madre Tierra, when the medicine growth itself. So I was able to connect on a very deep level, and I would say it's a lot deeper connection, deeper experience you can get. That was the hardest experience. It's very vomiting medicine, very kind of not only on a physical level, but on the mental level also very challenging medicine. So you might have very hard times. So I had the hardest times during the ceremonies and afterwards, but I think I faced the biggest fears of my life, the biggest, most deep traumas I had from my childhood. I was able to heal them, and I was able to get back to my reality. And I would say, facing the fear was the biggest thing that I opened my eyes to see the reality instead of hiding into like, oh, I live in Los Angeles, I'm busy with that, I'm an artist, I'm doing here and there. And there are things that just kind of give me a shade to not to see the reality, what is inside me, what's within me. And the medicine in jungles really opened up my eyes to see who I really am, what I really want in my life, what's important. and what's not, you know.
Wow. Strip away those layers and kind of and come back stronger, right? So, how is that going to help you with the next chapter of your music making?
Yeah, and that's even yeah, it was very interesting. So when I got back to reality, to Los Angeles from jungle, I was a little bit like dizzy still, but I definitely
Amazing.
realized that I don't want to just like, fly in the heavens anymore. I want to I want to build up a good business. That was kind of my, you know what I mean? I just don't want to be an poor artist or something like that. I mean, I've never been like very poor artist, but I decided to bring it to the next level. I wanted to create a business, a project, not just like, for example, teaching in person one-on-one anymore, right? Because pandemic, because not enough concerts, but I want to build up entire platform when I can teach. I would like to build up a new business, a project when I can sell it. And if I advertise it in the right way, they could help many, many, many people. And I can put together my healing opportunity skills and my, voice coaching skills in one kind of container, and it works a lot better because every time.
What a unique combination of skills, your years on the stage and also your newly found kind of your healing of energy. I think that's really a great thing. And we all know that the artistic life, especially for opera singers or any singers really, is fraught with a lot of rejection, right? I mean, that's just a part of the world.
Exactly. So sometimes, like, as a professional singer, I know that for learning about my voice, I have to go to my voice coach. For learning other stuff, I go to another coach. And if I'm ready for my performance, have to get ready. I have to sit a little bit, meditate, or do like any other routines that help me to bring my mind to the right state. So now I created kind of the system that helps people put everything in one. So before I even open up my voice, before I even make one single sound, I have to be mentally prepared for that. And so I start, for example, my session, I start with guided meditations first. And only then I ask my students, my people, to activate their voices and sing or warm up, etc., etc. So it's kind of a little bit the other way, um, so it really helps to it helped me a lot. So I do not separate it anymore, physical and emotional. And also it's very good to talk about trauma. It's very good to talk about trauma. So for example, when I was a child, one person told me that I had terrible voice, you know.
Yeah, the thing about being that's very different than a pianist or a violinist is you're not criticizing an instrument, you're criticizing a person, a human being. The voice is part of us, it's inseparable from who we are as a people. That's a real challenge.
Correct. So I was like very kind of, like shady child. I was always sitting quiet. It's not normal for the child.
No way.
Right. Exactly. I believe me, I was. So I was very, very quiet. And only when I get, become a little bit older and more conscious girl, then I get like, okay, whatever this person said, I can still. And I started doing it more and more, singing more and more. I chose singing as my career, probably because of this, because I wanted to prove myself that my voice is not ugly. And now I know it's not, for sure. But that trauma it took me so many years to get rid of it. It was really kind of sitting deep inside. Even consciously, I know it's not true, and it's only maybe opinion of one person, and maybe this person have very little understanding of what's quality of the voice. Because I got prizes from very many competitions, which is proving that I do have a good voice, and another thing. So I have there are some standards for voice quality.
Of course, and you've accomplished so much. But it's so funny. Like we all, like me too. I can be told by a lot of people that was a great performance, but one person writing me an email saying that was horrible and they don't like it, and that'll ruin my day. Like that can really, it affects us. I mean, it affects us. Because if you're your personality, you want to be the best you can be at everything you do. Obviously, that's obviously a driving factor in your art, is you want to be the best artist that you can be. So we're always trying to do the best, and it's that negative voice can really be a challenge. How do you tune out the negative voices?
Oh, actually, I was about to say that. And now when I hear something like that, like a criticism or something like this, you know what? First of all, well, I have very little ego now. If maybe I have nothing. Almost at all. I really dissolve that. It's like I really do not attach myself to my physical body so much anymore, to what my achievements are. It's like it's just I did what I can do. I did as much I was able to do. But what I teach my students and myself as well, when I hear some words like that, I would say, okay, you are right. You are right. What exactly do you mean, saying this? Like, if person can explain me maybe details, it may be actually the seed of the truth in there too. That could be, could be. I'm not saying this always like this, but could be the useful tool for me to fix certain things. On the other hand, when I say you are right, it doesn't mean that I agree with this person. I only mean, I only mean that this person is it's right for in his reality, you know in his a little bit maybe not very happy reality, not really successful world, not really loving, self-loving kind of environment. It is reality. So in his reality or her reality, this is he's right. Yeah, it's
I
right.
find that people are much more negative online, and because the anonymity of the online platforms allow us to be way more critical than we would be if we were in person. If someone was next to you, they wouldn't walk up to you and say, "Blah," people just aren't like that, generally speaking. So I think we find that with online, like people become super like they'll say things that they would never say live.
Oh God. No, I mean I'm not afraid of criticism. Actually, I use it as a just opportunity to like mirroring maybe what I am right now, what I'm projecting. Also, people's reactions projecting my own how to say feeling, my own opinion about myself. That's so true. That's actually maybe it's too holistic the way I talk right now. Not everyone is able to observe it, but I really see like when someone a little bit negative side, I was like, okay, there's probably something in me, kind of, um, let this person see me this way, the negative. And honestly, the more I let people express themselves this way, the less negative reviews I receive. You
Because
know?
you don't take the bait, and people always want to see find salacious people like fighting on the internet. That's what people want to see, but I find that that's not very healthy for discussions like we're having, because artists are the way you found to deal with this is a very healthy reaction. That's a great thing to teach, and whether it's through like the guided meditation that you do, or any other way, we all have to find a way to process negative emotions healthily and not let it bother our performance or our lives.
Yeah, correct. I mean, even when we go and sing audition or we sing performance, right? So the idea is we have to answer honestly. I have to. I will talk about myself. I have to honestly answer to myself. Why do I do this? Do I do this to kind of deserve someone's love or appreciation? Do I want someone to approve me or something like that? Then the question to myself. Then I do not approve myself first of all. I don't love myself first of all. So if I go to the stage or I don't know somewhere else online for my webinar or etc., just to share my best, just to share my knowledge, to share, to help other people, help myself to express my own emotions, my talents, my skills, there is the absolutely different already state of mind. So I don't expect people to give me, I don't know, any opinions, any feedbacks. And if they do, I don't really care much, because in the very beginning I didn't really care so much. I didn't came to receive it, this feedback. I came to share what I have, and I have a lot of love, a lot of gratitude, and a lot of happiness inside. So I share this what I have, and they
You can
share what
tell
I have.
your energy is so contagious, and
Thank you.
thank you so much for sharing that with us. So, of all the different projects you do, tell us about when you create these music videos. You built a very you're building a large platform online. People are starting to engage. What's it like to see your music touch people's lives?
Whew, yeah, that's kind of a long way. I started it with a very different approach, I would say, like more a little bit selfish oriented. I just wanted to show how beautiful and talented I am. Now, I'm developing, I'm growing as a person, as a human being. And now I feel like I would love to, I don't want to talk about myself anymore. Not really, I mean, it's just not my circle of interest, honestly. I would like to talk about how can I make others' lives better, happier, and etc. let people see more positive sides of their life, whether they're singers or not. Actually, it's also very important. That's why it attracted more audience into my platform, because it's not only for singers or who loves music, it's for everyone.
Okay, so it's a general, so not just for the artists, it's for anyone to find positivity. And what better thing to steer people towards now, because everything has been so negative with COVID, with all the challenges we faced in this past year, social unrest. There's so much negativity in the world, and I think being a force of positivity is almost countercultural. So I think it's great to kind of get out there and be that positive light that people can find.
Yeah, positive is not always easy to be positive. Sometimes I also teach this. If sometimes you feel sad emotions, it's okay and it's honest to feel them. Just stay with them and feel them fully. Dive into that, like really watch them close. Like look into your fear's eyes, and yeah, be honest with yourself. Yes, I have this fear. Yes, I have this problem. Yes, this bothers me. And after this, you can come back to kind of your normal positive life. But if you always like, it's like toxic positive, it's also not a good way. I think it's like being
It's almost hiding the. It's like putting a veneer on the challenges underneath.
Yes, that's so true. It's like fake things. I never believed in, like, when I listen to some, like, life coaches who is like not living the life what they teach about. It's just like I call them toxic positive, because they're
Okay.
like, like, hey, let's smile, let's not criticize anyone, but in their own life, someone like just like, do something in their life and they disagree with us, they give a lot of emotions, negative emotions, reactions. So if you don't live your life like this way, the way you teach, I'm not your student, and the same like applied into myself, because if I don't live the life I teach about, it's, just not gonna work. I'm not honest to what it is. So yeah, I think if we have sad emotions, certain things happening in life, and this year especially was very, very tough for challenging for many of us. But I would say I didn't call like, oh, hey, let's make it more positive. Let's see it as a positive way. It's not always positive. Actually, some people lost their beloved ones. Some people lost, I don't know, jobs or businesses. How can you see this as a positive? It's very hard, but I would say, for example, I've lost a lot of engagements as well. I've lost a lot of concerts and opportunity to make money, etc., etc. But this challenge actually discover in me a new ability of mine to teach people online. So now I'm really focused on creating online business I was talking about before, like online project that I would never cross my mind before. And that gives me certain freedom because it's kind of passive income. So I still can come back after pandemic, right? I still can come back to my performance live and do what I was doing before. But on the top of it, I will also have this, other business, other project working for me. It's amazing.
I'm always amazed by the creative energy of creative professionals. Right? We couldn't do our music, so we find the creativity is going to come out. It's just going to come out different and transformed. And look how you found the way to help other people during this period. And then, then you have to go back and say, how can I integrate this with my performing? And that's going to be exciting and a new chapter in your life. What are some of the musical projects, in addition to your teaching, coaching, that you're going to be embarking on when things open up again?
Well, yes, now I actually, yeah, especially when you sent me this message to be part of your amazing interview, I was like, hey, I would love to come back to the opera stage again, definitely. It's on my to-do list. But beside this, I'm working with amazing guitar players and DJs from Mexico, Tulum, and Peru as well. So it's kind of so holistic project of holistic music is one of my biggest projects right now. So the three people that I'm really inspired. I'm super inspired, and we
That sounds like a fascinating podcast right there. Put the three of you together to talk about music to heal people, and I mean, we don't even know what the devastation really is. It's going to take years for psychologists and scientists and academics to figure the full extent of the challenges we faced in this pandemic.
correct, 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 correct. So
And I think it's so important that we find ways to connect with people that process this.
that's so true. That's so true. Yeah. So I feel like more like this pandemic year, I think showed The things that highlighted, the things that we really should pay attention to. So, like, the traumas, um, inner peace, those things are, no matter what we have in life, if we have a family, partners, children, income, etc., etc., if inner peace is not in the right place, we're still not happy. But I'm not saying only care about your inner peace, only sit and meditate the whole day, you don't care about your income and your children. I'm not calling, doing this.
It has to be balanced, right? It has to be
It has
balanced.
to be balanced. Exactly what I'm saying. It has to be balanced. But yeah, just don't go to the one on another side, too left or too right. It's about balance. So my next project is going to be holistic music albums. So excited, and it will be created with people that are connected to medicine world. And yeah, it'll be like, I would say, I would love to have a tour with the healing concerts.
I think that'll be people will really flock to those because it's going to be needed so much in the chapters as they open up again.
I hope
Where
so.
can people go to find out more about you and to find out about your announcements and where can they go to subscribe to your YouTube channel and all that great stuff?
Yeah, definitely. I have a YouTube channel, and thank you so much for sharing this all. Yes, I have a YouTube channel. I have my albums on Spotify and all the electronic platforms, and definitely my website. And actually, if I may say, my
Please
next
do.
online course, Zoom course, starts on July 6th. It'll be every Tuesday at 5 p.m. PST time. It'll be what I mentioned, guided meditations, some vocal healing practices, and practical vocal exercises at the same time. So it's like a complex of things in one package. So I think it's really beautiful mix, super helpful.
Well, thank you so much for all you're doing, both on the stage and off the stage, and I wish you nothing but success in all of your endeavors.
Thanks. Same here. I wish a lot of success and a lot of more audience to your project, and to conduct even more operas and more concerts.
I hope we get to work together again, and as the world opens up, and let's be in touch.
Let's be in touch. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you for joining us on Music Matters with Jason Tramm. Please remember to subscribe to us on YouTube and smash that bell icon for the most up-to-date information on upcoming guests and topics. To join our email list, which we do not send spam, we only will send a monthly list of all the current episodes on our upcoming and highlights and past ones. You can go to www.jasontramm.net. Thank you so much for joining us, and remember, keep music alive.